Look, remote control. Got a new camera. It's a camcorder technically. The reason I bought it wasn't because of remote control. It was because the microphone. It can take an external microphone. Right now, it's got a shotgun microphone that came with the camera. The sound quality is better than with the old camera, but there is still going to be some hiss. Right now, the furnace isn't running, so it shouldn't be too bad. And also, I can do 4K videos now. So if anybody wants to watch me in 4K and see all my wrinkles and shit, whatever, I'm not going to judge, man. I just made a video on this camera and then realized I pretty much already said a lot of the stuff. It was in that Kitness Interruptus video that I did recently, talking about practicing and getting ready for this tournament. And I don't want to repeat all that stuff. And you guys probably don't want to listen to all that stuff all over again, right? But what I did want to talk about is a different subject, but related. Back in around 1990, when I was in Omaha, I remember explaining to someone, probably this guy on my league team named Austin Paul, a friend of mine. He was in APA 6, I was in APA 7. Probably talking to him, telling him, what's the difference between an APA 6 and an APA 7? In other words, how does he get from where he was to where he wanted to be? And what I told him was that, in my opinion, an APA 7 would have just made that damn one ball. But no, it was that a 7 would run out when he was supposed to run out. A 6 would also run out when he was supposed to run out. But a 7 would also run out sometimes when he wasn't supposed to, when he wasn't expected to. He would get out anyway. That was the difference that, back in Omaha around 1990, that was really the difference between players like myself back then and players just, a little bit less experienced than me, so trying to work their way up, to where I was. And of course, I still had a hell of a long way to go. What's the difference between professional and APA 7? I used to be a league operator in Seattle. I used to always say that in the APA, you could have a raw beginner, never even heard of pool, and a 2 level player. And there's a gap between their abilities, right? But the gap between someone like myself, I was a good league player, and a professional level player is way bigger than this gap. The gap between me and Efren or Dennis, fucking Dennis, is just huge. Anyway, what was I getting at? Oh, what I was getting at was getting out when you're supposed to get out, and sometimes when you're not supposed to get out. Then fast forward probably about 20 years, I was watching an AccuStats match. This is back when it was still on VHS, if you can believe that I'm that old. And Danny DiLiberto was doing the commenting on the match, and he was talking about what it takes to win a tournament. This is probably the finals of one of the Derby City Classic matches or something. He's talking about what does it take to win a tournament. And what he said was, you have to make all the shots you're supposed to make, and some of them you're not supposed to make. So it's pretty similar to what I had told Austin Paul back, 20 years earlier. That I've been talking about entire games, and Danny DiLiberto was talking about just the shots. But now's the point where I finally get to the point. The point is, at my level of play, there are shots that I should never miss. Kitties, quit fighting. But I do miss them sometimes. At someone a lot better than me, they probably have shots that they should never miss, but they do every now and then. certainly someone who's like a beginner could have a shot, like this, and maybe they figure they would never miss that 14, but they will every now and then. I don't think I would ever miss that 14, by the way, just in case you're wondering. But there are shots that I will miss that I don't think I should. One of them would be like this 14 cross soft. I think this should be an easy enough bank that I should make it every time. And I plan to make it every time. And what little shape you play in playing bank pool, I do if I have this shot. I'll draw back, follow forward, whatever has to happen to try to get shape on the next ball. Because I plan on making this shot every time that I shoot it. The problem is, I don't make it every time that I shoot it. There are other shots that are the same way. Straight in shots of about this medium type of distance. I think at my level, again, like upper middle class at best, I don't think I should ever miss putting this 13 straight in that corner. But I do. I have a problem with shots of about this distance. So, where I think I should be 100% on this shot, I'm probably 95%. I think on this bank, where I should be 100% on the shot, I'm probably about 95%. There are a lot of shots that are like that for me, that I should make every time, and I don't. If the cue ball is stuck on the rail, I don't think this shot is a 100% make, but I think I should be about 95% on putting this 14 straight in there, but I'm not. I'm maybe about 75% on this particular shot. So the whole point I was getting at was, see, I cheated the hell out of that ball. Don't know why. The point I was getting at was, as I'm trying to get ready for this tournament, it's too late for me to learn how to be a good player. I mean, it's the 16th of December. The thing starts in a month and a week. 5 weeks from tomorrow, I believe. It's too late for me to learn how to be a good player. But I can improve some things. And the things that I've chosen to improve on are those shots that I should make every time, but I don't make every time. Get them from 95% to 99%, or maybe even 100%. Get them up there. It's a good shot. It's the lowest hanging fruit is going for those. That trying to master cross side on this 15, where right now I'm just pretty good at it. Does that make sense? Rather than trying to master, I don't know, shooting the 15 straight in the corner and drawing back to here. This is nowhere near 100% make for me. Hell, even just putting the 15 in, I'm liable to miss. But you throw in draw back to here, I bet I'm less than 20%. So I'm not going to work on that. It's too late. Y'all didn't know I knew that shot. It's too late to master that shot or even come close in the time I have left. I wonder if that's not the first miscue I've had on YouTube, is it? Probably not. I do that a lot. When I'm really trying to get some draw, I'll miscue and look like a dumbass. But that's okay. Shot that I can work on, like I said, I don't know what I would rate this shot at. If all I had to do was just put this 5 in, didn't have to play shape for anything. Maybe I'm shooting good. Maybe I'm 75% on this. So let's get it up to 80. Let's get it up even higher than that if we can. But don't go. I don't want to go picking on shots that I suck at, and I'm still going to suck even if I practice them nonstop for a month, because they're that tough. I don't want to do that. I don't think that's a good use of my time here in the 5 weeks I have left to get ready for this thing. I think in the 5 weeks I have ready is just find something like that 5. I should not have missed that 5. It was stretched out a little bit, but that's you know, at my height, I've been getting stressed out over a pool table for a long ass time, and it shouldn't have bothered me that much, but it did. So I should be able to take a shot like that and just work on it and get it up there. Get it from 80% to 90, or like I said, maybe even 100 at times. That's my approach to what I'm trying to do here and getting ready for this tournament. And it's also in a lot of cases my approach for trying to improve in general. I'm trying to make those improvements that would immediately help me. Being able to immediately make some of those shots every time as opposed to only 95% of the time, like that bank, that would be, and I would notice that immediately. But if I had another shot where I went from 15% make to only a 20% make, you know, I would never see that. I would not see that benefit very often. But if I can go from 95 to 100, or from 80 to 90, then I absolutely would reap the benefits of that practice in being a better player. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what everybody's trying to do, I would imagine. I was gonna say, I don't imagine anybody's playing pool to not become a better player, but that's not quite right, because there are a lot of players that are where it's just all about the fun for them, and they don't want to stress out about trying to improve or whatever. Now, I do try to have fun, but I also want to be a better player, because if I was a better player, I would make more balls and I would have more fun. Does that make sense? I think so. This shot is not a 100% make for me. Perfectly straight in. Yeah, I really feel like it should be, because there's nothing to it except get lined up straight and stroke straight. But it's not, and once I get like a locked into the shot, I can make it several times in a row. But walking up to it first time around, I'm like, you didn't want to do that shot, did you? Man, I'm just showing you guys all kinds of trick shots today. I know that I'm yammering, but this is a slight cut. I have a problem with these slight cuts. I do that. I don't cut them. If it's a slight cut, it's like my subconscious says, "Oh, that's close enough, Dave," and it just doesn't cut. So these are shots that I work on. Because I can, in theory, I can eventually make this 13, and that's some improvement. And in theory, I can improve at that kind of shot. That's the kind of shot that improves, you know, getting lined up and stroking straight and all that bullshit. I already said all this stuff. I'm almost positive I already said all this stuff. So I'm yammering. I'm going to stop now. I got a remote. And click.